Hey, short Alchemical Journal update on the subject of calcination and the path to individuation. Within this short video is a visual montage of the theme and the methods that I go about towards individuation. I use the seven hermetic principles as a guideline. Primarily, I keep my focus on polarization and I keep my focus on gender, the principle of gender, which is to say that is not sexuality, that is not sexual orientation, that is the energy of the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. My path is through historical teachers, primarily psychologists like Carl Jung and Stoics. Many different ones. There are men and women throughout history who followed the Stoic path and have contributed to the Stoic philosophy. It's a very Spartan essence. It's a very Spartan approach, if you will, maybe not quite as brutal, but Spartan on the self. And that is truly what calcination is going within and altering yourself back to factory setting, if you will. It's to clear away all the things that don't serve you, all the things that are unhealthy, and to get to the core you. So in chemical calcination process, it's to burn away the things that are impure. And that is exactly how we apply it in psychological alchemy, which is the path I pursue. And so the principle of gender is about the energy of the masculine and the energy of the feminine. And my method for calcination is involved in stripping myself down in a Spartan, frugal type way, a very stoic type way. What do I absolutely need and what do I absolutely not need? And that which I absolutely do not need, I discharge from my energy. I release it. Some things are more complicated than others to release, but since I've been in a practice of doing this for many years, I have a system in place. And I plan on beginning a blog that I will link to this video to later. And every Monday, I will come out with one of these videos and a link to the blog, the written blog, discussing each step and the authors and the influences and the places I look as guides to help me strip away all the unnecessary things that can bring about guilt, that can bring about shame, that can bring about struggles and emotional burdens that are not necessary. Now, in this video, it's short, and you'll see that I put flashes of many different animations in here and repeat them. One of them is of the scrying bowl, and how the scrying bowl starts by being impacted by something around it, and it ripples. But given time, it slowly calms back down to where it's not rippling and it's in a calm state again. This gets into Bruce Lee's philosophy a little, and I agreed with his philosophy. It was a solid look at things. You could take that scrying bowl and think of it this way. Everything on the outside has an impact on you, and you are the water. 70% of your body is water. You are the water. And so you will ripple with the effects of the things that you interact with, good and bad. And if you give yourself time, and if you go through the 7 steps, the first being calcination, you can restore the water that is you back to your factory setting, if you will, in a calm, even-keeled, happy person. If you do not go through these processes, you're feral. So you can find yourself manifesting things ferally just from reactionary behavior. But reactionary behavior is not taking the time to calcinate, not taking the time to run what you're experiencing through the different steps. as I was saying, my approach is to use the knowledge and the information of those who've gone before me, who have been on this path and have done this path and have completed this path. It also includes, for me, physical workout. I can kind of get into a Zen frame of mind when I'm physically working out. But also, I like to sit and meditate. Now, I do not take meditation as a religious practice, but it can be. And many people in the East do meditate. And Eastern Orthodox also, their prayer is much closer to a meditation than it is like a Western kind of chanting kind of approach. And neither are wrong. All approaches are correct. All I'm doing in this is sharing my approach. The principle of gender is a very important one when you're going through the calcination process. You mean you need to look through your own inner behaviors. And the way I manage this without like overloading myself is I do it regularly. I go through the calcination process and all 7 steps once a season. So both equinoxes and both solstices. So I only have to re-clarify, recenter myself, and clear my energy of the things I've experienced during that season. But I make sure when I'm going through the calcination process and when I'm meditating, I view the choices I've made, the situations I've been in, the situations that have affected me from both a masculine and a feminine filter to get a better complete understanding of the situation and to kind of detach myself from the emotional side of it by finding the masculine and the feminine approach and balancing those two against each other and coming to a conclusion about whether or not carrying something with me into the future is healthy or I've learned from it. And if I have learned from it, I strip it away from myself, much like the animation of the woman stripping off the residue, the shell of things that build up on her. I do the same thing. It gives me grounding, clarity, the ability to see the path that I've laid out for myself, answer my calling as a creative and as an artist. So look forward to a blog coming soon that will go into it deeper. And if you have any questions or any of those kind of things, please feel free to leave a comment. And anybody who checks it out, I appreciate everybody that will give me a thumbs up. And if you like what I'm doing and the content I'm working on, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get more updates. I'll have one of these every Monday. There goes my neighbor. I got to go ahead and cut it short. It's hot rod time. Have a great evening, wonderful afternoon. I hope everything turns out the way you want it, and I hope you have like positive vibes. Thanks, y'all.